Good Tuesday evening, April 8th, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. The community is invited to a groundbreaking ceremony later this week to kick off construction of the new Wenatchee Valley YMCA. A Wenatchee man was arrested early Monday morning after allegedly assaulting his friend with an axe, smashing a car windshield, and resisting arrest. High clouds and warmer for Wednesday with evening showers a possibility on Thursday. I'll have your full local weather forecast coming up. In a surprise reappointment, Palisades rancher Molly Linville will return to the Washington Fish and Wildlife Commission. Linville owns and manages the 6,000-acre KV Ranch in Palisades and served as a commissioner on the board that set state wildlife policy from 2019 until January, when outgoing Governor Jay Inslee opted not to reappoint her. But in February, new Governor Bob Ferguson withdrew the appointee designated to replace Linville, and on Monday announced she will serve another 6-year term on the 9-member board. Ferguson said her reappointment, along with 2 other nominations, are meant to help repair the commission after a report found it was too politicized. Linville and her fellow appointees will begin serving immediately, even before any approval by the Washington Senate. She was the subject of our half-hour documentary, Molly's Ranch, which you can watch anytime on our YouTube channel or on NCWLife.com. The community is invited to a groundbreaking ceremony later this week to kick off construction of the new Wenatchee Valley YMCA. The 46,000 square foot facility will be at the site of the former Chelan County PUD complex on 5th Street. According to the YMCA website, the campaign has raised over $22.2 million for the facility, which will include community room spaces, an indoor track, multiple pool and fitness centers, youth spaces, and more. The ceremony will begin at noon on Thursday, April 10th, and will also feature speeches by Wenatchee Mayor Mike Poyer and lead donor Dalton Thomas. A local nonprofit now owns the former Ernie's gas station property in Manson after community members rallied to create a park on the site. Our media partner, the Wenatchee World, reports the land will be converted to a public park dubbed Village Green. The Lake Chelan Community Services Council purchased the land Monday for $750,000. An earlier proposal from the Chelan-Douglas Port Authority to build a Link bus turnaround on the site fell through. The gas station site on Wapato Way has sat dormant for more than a decade without development. The Community Council says it will now seek further donations and volunteer work to make the park plan a reality. Today is National Library Workers' Day, and North Central Washington Libraries is encouraging people to head to their local library. National Library Week began on April 6 and runs through April 12. NCW Libraries is highlighting their staff and promoting services it offers to the 5-county area it serves. Here's what NCW Libraries Executive Director Barbara Walters had to say about National Library Week.
At NCW Libraries, we're more than just books. We are centers of connection, creativity, and community resilience, serving as the heart of our communities. We are essential in inspiring curiosity, promoting lifelong learning, and fostering a sense of belonging. Whether you're just checking out a book, using free Wi-Fi, attending a program, exploring our digital resources, or simply enjoying the welcoming atmosphere, there's truly something for everyone at the library. This week is also about honoring the people who make it all possible. Tuesday, April 9th is National Library Workers' Day, a time to celebrate our dedicated staff for the hard work they do year-round with empathy, compassion, and care. So I invite you to stop by one of our 30 locations to see what your library has to offer and take a moment to thank one of our incredible staff. We'll be promoting staff and services on our Facebook page and our Instagram page, so find out more at www.ncwlibraries.org.
When we come back, efforts to ban flavored tobacco products got a new breath of life on Monday with a bill that received a hearing in committee. 3 Wenatchee Valley College students were named to the 2025 All-Washington Academic Team last month. And the Washington State Department of Commerce has awarded $23 million in grant funding to 18 electrical projects across the state, including one with the Douglas County PUD. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Merry Maids can clean your entire home, business, or vacation rental from top to bottom, inside and out. Merry Maids will even take care of cleaning your carpets, and they can pressure wash your home. Merry Maids has thousands of happy customers. They've been cleaning homes and businesses in our valley for over 25 years. Check out their glowing reviews at merrymaidesofwenatchee.com and call the cleaning experts, Merry Maids, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed, so relax. It's done.
Efforts to ban flavored tobacco products got a new breath of life on Monday with a bill that received a hearing in committee after previously being presumed dead. Murrow News fellow Albert James shows us how the new legislation is geared to bring more money to that state and why opponents say the ban could hurt efforts to reduce tobacco use.
These products don't contribute to the social well-being of our communities. They definitely don't contribute to the health and well-being of our children.
Democrat Christine Reeves of King County is prime sponsor of House Bill 2068, which would ban the sale of flavored tobacco products like vapes and menthol cigarettes. Reeves pushed similar restrictions in another bill this session, which failed to advance, though this proposal goes a step further and increases taxes and fees around manufacturing, selling, and buying tobacco products, including a $2 increase in the tax on a pack of cigarettes, adjusted to inflation every 3 years. Reeves says the increased taxes backfills lost revenues from flavored products being off the market, while also funding efforts to get people away from the dangers of tobacco.
The intent is really to ensure that we are getting at consumer education, that we're focusing on how we address youth prevention and adult cessation, and that we hopefully address some of the enforcement needs of the Liquor and Cannabis Board to be able to address this uptick.
A handful of high school students testified in support of the legislation. They say teens are targeted by vapes' fruity flavors, contests, and other marketing ploys, with the resulting addiction getting in the way of kids learning, playing, and living healthy lives.
Flavored tobacco pulls teens in. It smells like candy, looks like candy, and it feels harmless, but it's not. And I've seen students at my school, classmates, friends, get hooked before they even realize what's happening.
Opponents argue flavored vape products are a less harmful alternative to traditional cigarettes, and adults should have access to them. They say youth use of tobacco has declined in recent years, with store clerks being responsible in keeping products away from kids.
We are the first line of defense, and our efforts are working. The current system of licensed retailers, strong minimum age laws, and government oversight is working.
Retail groups also argue the ban would cause a drop in revenue for businesses and force some to close their doors. They believe a ban would push the tobacco market underground and potentially cause more harm.
Increasing taxes doesn't necessarily limit or reduce people who are trying to access tobacco or encourage cessation. Instead, it actually just forces them to purchase from an unregulated or illicit market.
There's a deadline Tuesday for legislation to move forward, but a spokesperson for the House Finance Committee chair says generally bills with taxes are not subject to that cutoff. In Olympia, I'm Albert James reporting.
A Wenatchee man was arrested early Monday morning after allegedly assaulting his friend with an axe, smashing a car windshield, and resisting arrest. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison says that at approximately 4 a.m., deputies were dispatched to the 100 block of Chapman Road. The victim was treated for cuts to his left hand and right ear. The suspect, 49-year-old Sean Brashears, allegedly fled to a residence nearby. Deputies obtained a search warrant and used a drone him to locate Brashears inside the house before convincing him to exit. He was booked into the Chelan County Regional Justice Center on suspicion of second-degree assault, third-degree malicious mischief, and resisting arrest. 3 Wenatchee Valley College students were named to the 2025 All-Washington Academic Team last month. Micah Lee of Twisp, Charlie Buchert of Okanagan, and Kira Martinez Pina Argote of East Wenatchee were selected due to their high academic achievements and community service. The All-Washington Academic Team program recognizes students who reflect the diversity of the state, maintain high standards of excellence, and contribute positively to the community. The 3 students will travel to Lacey to be honored during a ceremony at South Puget Sound Community College coming up on April 24th. The Washington State Department of Commerce has awarded $23 million in grant funding to 18 electrical projects across the state, including one with the Douglas County PUD. Each of the awarded projects are aimed at strengthening and modernizing Washington's electrical grid and will receive federal and state matching dollars. The Douglas County PUD received $1.5 million for a 3-mile distribution line undergrounding project that will reduce the risk to fire-prone areas near Badger Mountain. A portion of the funding comes from the Climate Commitment Act. Funds are then matched 3-to-1, with program grantees required to contribute matching funds of approximately 33% of the awarded amount. Coming up next, Washington's new poet laureate from Leavenworth got news of his appointment on April Fool's Day, but it was no joke. More on that in tonight's feature story. Warmer temperatures are expected tomorrow and Thursday with possible showers Thursday night. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Washington's new poet laureate got news of his appointment on April Fool's Day, but it was no joke. The Wenatchee Valley College English professor was named by Governor Bob Ferguson to become the state's ambassador of poetry for the next 2 years. Sheffield, who lives in Leavenworth, is the author of 2 poetry collections and the editor of several others, including Cascadia Field Guide, which focuses on the northwestern landscape. In a conversation within our studios with media partner The Wenatchee World and in tonight's feature story, Sheffield talks about how he learned about his new title, how he hopes to carry out the mission of Poet Laureate, and what nature and poetry have in common.
It was Tuesday, April 1st, the first day of Poetry Month, is what they decided to go with on the announcement date. And so I was in class all day, and in the meantime, my social media, my phone, my email was like just starting to blow up, and colleagues would pass me in the hallway, and they were going, "What?" You know, and like, really? I had to keep it super secret, and you know, until they announced it, and then, but in my classroom, you know, it was just business as usual. I didn't say anything, you know, it was just like, we're focused on the lessons for today. When I was working on the application for the position, I thought about what I could do, and I could do an eco book, an eco poetry book, but I'd already done that in Cascadia Field Guide. And recent Washington State Poet Laureate, our first native one, Rena Priest, made a beautiful book called Sing the Salmon Home, which was doing that work. So we've got that covered. And then I thought, what do we need in this state? How can I help? How can I use this role to help us all? And then I very quickly started thinking about the well-being of our young people, and what I see as a mental health crisis in teenagers. These are the kids who were a certain age during COVID and who have been raised by screens. And I have a lot of young students in my classes at Wenatchee Valley College. I have daughters. I have friends with kids, and I'm really worried about our young people, and I want to take poetry into their lives. I want to focus especially on schools and colleges, and take poetry into their lives, because poetry gives us so many things, but the first thing that it gives us first and foremost is healing. It's a balm. It's as natural as breathing to express ourselves, and it helps us slow down and be here and be contemplative. And boy, I think we need a lot of that, and I think our kids especially need it. That natural world out there, the shrub steppe out there right now, the Columbia River, there's a wildness that is essential to how the world works. And it's the same with poetry. I don't know of any other art form. It might be my artist friends, my musician friends at the college would say, oh no, writing song, oh, painting. So for me though, but poetry, because it always involves what the Greeks thought about, conceived of as the muse, like you're filled with God, some kind of divinity when you're making this work, because like, holy moly, where did that come from? I didn't know that was in me. There's some incredibly wild aspect to making poems that puts you in touch with this other, this sense of this something greater. And that's what I feel in the natural world. And so there's an intrinsic affinity between the two of them, between poetry and nature.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic Tuesday. It's been kind of a wet 24 hours, and as we look outside our weather window from this afternoon, some more of those low-hanging clouds around Leavenworth as we take a look at the Bavarian Village. From our tower camera, it's our Tumwater tower camera, and you can see the rain falling on our video here, and a lot of North Central Washington experiencing those scattered showers throughout the day today, and I still think that we could see those into tonight. High temperatures about where we are now in the mid-50s, and then look for a lot of sunshine as we get into Wednesday with temperatures in the low 60s for the Wenatchee Valley, and then some evening showers Thursday, giving way to maybe some morning showers on Friday, and then things will stabilize a bit as we get into the upcoming weekend with, yes, the possibility of more showers as we get into Saturday afternoon. All right, today's high temperature a little cooler than normal, unofficially at 56 degrees. 59 is where we should be for this time of year. Boy, beautiful record high of 81 degrees. That was set in 2016. This morning we were at 37, a couple of degrees below where we should be. 39 is our normal low for this time of year, 28 our record, and that was set in 1973. All right, total rainfall for the past 24 hours, 0.14 of an inch at Pangbourne Airport. That now gets us to 2.41 inches for the year, which is just over 1/4 of an inch below where we should be for this time of year. So we're getting closer to that normal. Sunrise 6:25, and the sun sets tonight at 7:41. All right, your Wednesday temperature is going to warm up a little bit. 63 in Moses Lake, also in Ephrata, 62 for Quincy, 61 in Wenatchee, Eniat, and Chelan, 57, a little cooler in the upper elevations for Lake Wenatchee. Cashmere, a nice day for you tomorrow with a high temperature temperature of 60 degrees. Tonight we can expect clearing skies later on as most of the storminess moves over into the panhandle of Idaho and into western Montana. We'll still see a west breeze overnight tonight with low temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, probably a lot like this morning at around 37 degrees. Some high clouds in our Wednesday forecast, but boy, not bad at all with 2 areas of high pressure keeping us stable on Wednesday. High temperatures tomorrow in those low 60s, so should be a nice one for our midweek. For Thursday, mostly cloudy skies. Here's our next weather maker, an extended cold front that will slide through the state. Our best chance for rain will be into Thursday evening, a 30% chance of the wet stuff. Going to warm up too into the mid 60s for Thursday. For your Friday, another ridge of high pressure begins nosing into the Pacific Northwest. We'll see seasonal highs on Friday afternoon with temperatures in those low 60s. So a nice way to end our work week. And then getting you into the upcoming weekend, going to start off with mostly sunny skies, but with a northwesterly flow, it will be just a little bit cooler with high temperatures Saturday in the mid 50s. And by the end of our weekend on Sunday, lots of sunshine. Once again, 2 areas of high pressure. Boy, look at that, keeping our state just relatively clear on Sunday. High temperatures pretty seasonal, right around 60. And then for Monday, high clouds once again as another ridge of high pressure begins creeping up from the south. Maybe a bit breezy on Monday, some of those high clouds as I mentioned, but nice and mild with high temperatures in the mid 60s. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. 37 overnight tonight, some high clouds and 61 for Wednesday. Mostly cloudy, warmer on Thursday, and then we'll have about a 30% chance for those evening rain showers on Thursday. Mostly sunny skies then for both Friday and Saturday. Notice though, a little bit cooler on Saturday with a high of 56, getting you back to 60 with sunshine on Sunday. And then for Monday, high clouds and warmer with a high temperature then of 64 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
NCWLIFE Channel is your local TV station based right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Be sure to tune in for coverage of local sports. Once again, this spring we'll bring you Prep Boys soccer, baseball, and softball. In addition, we're adding Wenatchee Bighorn basketball in March, April, and May. It's all right here on the NCWLIFE channel, our Facebook and YouTube pages, as well as our website at ncwlife.com. And a good Tuesday to you. The Mariners snapped a 3-game losing streak last night at home at T-Mobile Park by topping the Houston Astros. Logan Gilbert and 3 relievers combined on a 2-hitter. Meanwhile, the offense did just enough to get the victory by a final of 4-3. Credit to Ryan Bliss and Jorge Polanco.
To left field, smacked well, smacked deep. Ryan Bliss, home run! Well, he may not be a big man, but he's got some sneaky power as Bliss just blisters this one over the left field wall. His first trip with the Trident this year.
Altuve with a 1-1 count, and he drills one to left field. That's all the way back, and that's gone. Randy Arozarena didn't even go back on that ball as Altuve drills it to left and cuts the lead in half. Home run number 3 on the season for Tuve. Ground ball to third, past Dylan Moore. That's going to score 2 runs. The Astros take a 3-2 lead on what could have been the final out of the inning, but it scooted past the Mariners' third baseman.
Christian got the barrel to it. That second hop off the dirt just jumps past Dylan Moore.
2-1 pitch. Right back off Abreu. It sneaks on through. Moore is in. Mastroboni to the plate. And the Mariners have taken the lead. Jorge Polanco. And that's why it's good to have him in the lineup. The hottest hitting Mariner since the start of the season. And rips it right back up the middle as Moore and Mastroboni come in to score, and the Mariners take the lead. Off the mound, JP smothers from a knee. What a play! Well, that's how you win a Gold Glove right there. JP Crawford laying out, going back up the middle. Gets his ball on the short hop. I don't know how he doesn't get to his feet to make the throw. He throws from his knees, and a great play by Rowdy. The 3-2. Ground ball. On to first. Ball game, and the Mariners win. What a thriller down the stretch. Saw some great outing by Logan Gilbert. Gilbert going 5 2/3, giving up only 1 hit and 1 run. But it was Polanco with the clutch hit late in the ball game, driving in those 2 runs to put the Mariners ahead. And then, of course, the man who was bringing the heat.
After the ball game, Polanco visited with Root Sports Northwest Jen Mueller to talk about his game-winning hit in the 8th inning.
No, just keep it simple, keep it simple. Try to go out there, try to get a good pitch to hit, and try to make contact with the ball. Nothing really, like I said, just trying to get a good pitch to hit. He got good stuff, but, you got to throw for a strike, so just try to get ready for the pitch. I was trying to stay middle away, and I get it there. It's very important, give us some momentum. I know we've been doing pretty good stuff. Things didn't go our way, but we'll start today.
The 2 teams go at it again tonight at 6:40. That'll be broadcast on Root Sports Northwest. Well, Texas lost a half game to the Idle Angels last night atop the American League West with a 7-0 loss to the Cubs. San Diego edged the Athletics 5-4. The A's and Mariners are tied for last in the division at 4-7. We'll make that 3 wins in a row for the Seattle Kraken. Seattle gave up the first goal of the game, but came back against the Kings to win in L.A. last night, 2-1. The game was broadcast on Kong TV.
Kraken back up the ice. Schwartz tips it in. Knocked back out by Fogle. Here's Moore into the offensive end. Trying to find Deneau down the slot. Backhand on to Cord. The first save of the night. Is that good?
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. 10 times the Kraken has had 5 goals per game on the road. As a shot on, they score! Out in front off the draw. Puck was floated toward the cage and redirected in by Joey DeCord early here in the first period. Kings send it in, and the Kraken will bandy it back out. Here's Matty Beniers. Puck picked up, Tolvanen. Now Capo Caco. Slides it across. Alexiak looked in front. Scores! Jamie Alexiak threw it to the front of the net. Matty Beniers will lead the handshake line. We're all tied at a goal apiece. Leading it to Byfield. He picks up some speed, turns the corner, cuts in the middle, and that puck knocked away as it was 1-on-4. Now the Kraken bring a 3-on-2 to center. Here comes Eberle. Rink wide across. Seno down shot. Scores! The full Monty, Brandon Montour, gives the Kraken a 2-1 lead late here in the third. Now to Kempe. Dropping it back behind him, just held onside. Now the Kraken get it out the center. Here comes Tolvanen, down the thought, on a breakaway, shot off the body there of Kemper.
The smile on the whole time. Here we go.
Here comes Ellie Tolvanen, he sprung free, once again shoots, and that's turned away by Darcy Kemper. Eberle, right on goal, turned aside in front, Schwartz, what a stop!
Joey DeCord stopped 28 of 29 shots on goal for the victory. Seattle heads for Utah tonight for a 6 o'clock game. That'll be on Kong TV. A busy prep baseball schedule got underway earlier today with most of our schools here in North Central Washington being on spring break. Cashmere is playing a doubleheader at Zilla. Eastmont is hosting West Valley. Wenatchee's on the road at Eisenhower. Fred is hosting East Valley, while Quincy is at Othello. Omak is visiting Tonasket. Manson's hosting Chelan. Liberty Bell is at Lake Roosevelt. Waterville Mansfield is hosting Wilbur Creston Keller in the Battle of the Hyphens. In prep girls fast pitch earlier today, Jackson beat Moses Lake 5-2. Eastmont was up next to take on Jackson. That happening at Larson Playfield. Also on tap today, Bridgeport is hosting Cascade. Brewster's at Okanagan. Lake Roosevelt is hosting Liberty Bell. Wilbur Creston Keller is visiting Waterville Mansfield. And Zilla is hosting Cashmere. On the soccer pitch today, Cascade is on the road at Wahluke, while Bridgeport is hosting Liberty Bell. Manson is at Brewster. Later on tonight, Ephrata is visiting Quincy in a battle of the Basin. Warden is hosting Okanagan. Moses Lake is on the road at Eisenhower. Omak is hosting Chelan tonight at 7 o'clock. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. I want you to be sure and have a happy Tuesday.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.